At the Drivel show.
Hi, this is Sori and with me Harlambus, right?
Yes, hi there.
So, this is the second episode of Utter Drivel Show.
Yeah, but is it?
No, actually, it's the fourth?
Well, actually it's the fifth episode, but no one wants to remember the Oscar special.
No.
That's why we deleted it from YouTube.
From everywhere.
Yes. I was thinking we forgot to do something in the first proper episode.
What would that be?
A little presentation of ourselves. Because I know we did that in the first pilot,
Yeah.
but no one actually listened to that.
Yeah.
So I think it would be a good idea to present ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you think?
I agree with you. So, who are you?
Well, first of all, I'm Harlambus.
That's not your real name.
Well, it is.
And
For
it's,
what we know, it is.
and it's written like that, written small letter.
Yeah, not a capital.
Okay.
And I have a blog, right? You can find the link in the description of this video.
Okay.
pursuitofknowledgeproject.wordpress.com. You can go there and find some movie reviews, some news, some quotes, music as well, a variety of things. So just go there, check
Okay.
it out. What's your blog?
Mine is that thing next to your blog. Sorry.com, 15.wordpress.com.
Lots of that.
Yeah.
Lots of that.
And my blog is called Futility. It doesn't make any sense, just like me. It's a blog made about art, music, film, books, some of my ideas, some news.
Yeah. Again, a variety of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be interesting, right?
Yeah. So you should check it out.
Yes. So, if you've listened to the first episode of our show, you probably know that we have a lot of features,
Yeah.
such as the question.
Question.
The question is the feature where one of us is asking the other
A question.
a question,
Of course.
and is answering in the first part of our show, and the answer will come later.
Okay.
This week, it's your turn. Go
Ah.
ahead,
All right.
impress me.
This is my question for you. You wake up in the middle of the night, and you're alone in your bed,
Right.
and a midget, an Irish midget, standing in one leg, with a big green hat on his head, is tickling your toes. Okay? Tickling, 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 tickling. What would you do?
Well, I have a lot of questions there,
But
as usual.
okay, but
But
later
this will
on.
come later
Yeah.
in the show. Moving on, we have
The news.
the news.
Okay.
So, sorry, what happened this week?
Nothing special. Nothing.
What do you mean, nothing special?
Nothing special happened.
Hugo Chavez just died
When?
a week ago or something.
Okay.
Well, what do you have to say about it?
Nothing.
So you say that a political figure such as Hugo Chavez,
Okay.
very important man in Venezuela, influenced a lot of people. You say just all right, so he's there. Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Do you think this will affect the world?
Probably.
Right, so ignorant as usual. In other news, we haven't talked about the new Pope yet,
Yeah, the Pope.
and the old Pope, because, as you know, Pope Benedict XVI resigned
From medical
about
issues.
a month ago. Yes,
Yeah,
for
because medical
issues.
issues. Yeah.
So a new Pope has to be elected, right?
Okay.
What do you think? Will the new Pope make any changes? Will it be influencing our history, maybe?
As far as I can predict, no. I don't think so.
Why?
How many popes were out there?
This new one will be the 266th.
Well, I don't recall a big event with any of them, so that's why I don't think this is going to
In
be
the past, there were a lot of events involving the Pope,
not that popular as, I don't know, the birth of Jesus.
or the birth of Justin Bieber.
How?
Because you say popular. Of course, the Pope isn't popular.
Okay.
Anyway, so you're not interested about the Pope. You're not interested about the.
When is the Pope going to be
Well, the conclave of cardinals is going to meet this Tuesday.
Okay,
So maybe in a week or something like that. I don't know for sure.
nice.
Anyway, in other news, I have a headline here. Did Israeli doctors try to sterilize Ethiopian immigrants?
Did they?
Well, it's not proved yet, but I know you have a thing for Ethiopian people.
Yeah.
Not only Ethiopian.
So there still is Ethiopian people.
Yeah, a couple of Jewish Ethiopian women.
You just go very far. So they just sterilize them like that.
Yeah, apparently they gave them some contraceptives that
So,
weren't meant to.
so in our city, the doctors aren't sterilizing the dogs, and they're a big problem here. And there in Israel, they're sterilizing women.
Well, yeah, but we don't live in Israel.
Yeah, that's
Or do we?
We can know for sure.
Yeah. So that's the news covered there,
Probably.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Next
Now
story.
we have the artistical feature of this show.
Well, you say artistic, but what do you mean?
It's not a discussion or like we had last time.
Yeah. But we still have the discussion.
Yeah. It's more like a recommendation of music, book, film, something similar. No?
Yeah.
Some words of wisdom, something. And talking of that, we both have tune Song of the Week on our blogs, that's right?
Yes, we have.
What do we have there?
Well, for this week, my tune is something special. Something I just heard on the radio again. A very popular song. It's Bob Sinclair, Love Generation.
Oh, that is classic.
I have to say that is not my cup of tea. Actually, it's not my type of music to listen, but it's a very groovy song. It makes you pop some moves, you know?
Yeah, just dancing around.
Yeah, just dancing around. What do you have? Sorry.
I don't have a proper song, okay?
Yeah.
It's coming from the soundtrack of On the Road film.
Yeah.
It is the main theme of the film, and I really liked it.
Yeah. Because you told me lots of times that you've been affected by On the Road, both the novel and the film. Would you recommend them?
Of course, I really recommend the book, and actually the film also. The book is very good, especially if you're young, if you still look for something in your life.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very influential and inspirational. But what about movies? Because you said about this movie On the Road. What would you recommend?
Well, for this week, I really haven't seen any movie. I just didn't have the will to do it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm ambitious. You know that I'm very ambitious. I bought them from a shop nearby called Bay something. Bay. You know? So what's your recommendation? Do you have one?
On the Road, the film, I think is pretty decent, but I just saw Casablanca,
Yeah, Casablanca.
and I really recommend you to watch it. It's a classic,
Yeah, it's
brilliant characters, dialogues, brilliant, just brilliant. It really deserves a
so
watch.
Casablanca it is, right?
Yeah, Casablanca.
Right, so that covers the artistic part, do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah, I
Any
think that.
sculpture you want to talk about?
No,
Of course,
some
I thought
picture,
so.
no, painting, no.
We're ignorant as usual.
Okay,
Talking about ignorance, that leads us to our next feature,
which is?
educating story.
Oh, not again.
Well, again, I'm gonna say it, you're very ignorant.
Please keep that girl to the point, please.
Okay, so,
Okay.
a couple of weeks ago, I've come to you, right, and asked you, sorry, what do you think about the Shroud of Turin? And I was genuinely waiting for a proper conversation,
Okay.
about the origins, the real value of the Shroud of the Turin. And you know what you said, right? You said, oh yeah, that sounds familiar. Go on. Ignorant as usual. So again, I'm gonna ask you, what do you know about the Shroud of Turin?
That cloth, with Jesus, he was covered in it or something after he was crucified.
Yeah, so mainly after he was crucified and buried, apparently he was buried with this cloth.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure if it's Jesus or not. It's the body of a man who has been crucified and beaten, really. It has stains of blood everywhere. On the wrists especially, because you know after the crucifixion on the wrist.
He had nails.
And what's interesting about it, it's the origins. Because the origins of the shroud is a big debate among scientists and theoreticians. There was an experiment in 1988 with a radiocarbon dating test. You know what's radiocarbon?
Yeah,
right?
I know.
It said, this test proved that the taurine was dated from the Middle Ages.
So it's not actually related to Jesus.
Yeah, apparently it was dated from the 13th century or 14th.
Okay.
But those who say that the shroud is real,
those who believe in this thing,
yes, they say that the experiment doesn't prove anything.
Okay, why?
Because the samples they used were taken from the corners of the shroud.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, the shroud was involved in a fire.
Yeah,
so this may affect his value. But anyway, what do you think about it? Is it an important thing for humanity? The face of Jesus. For the first time, we're able to see the face of Jesus in front of us.
Religion is a big part of humanity, and I think that this cloth can become a symbol to
Christians.
Yeah.
Well, it is a symbol, but do you think it's real or not?
They prove that it doesn't come from that time.
Yeah, but again, the samples were not conclusive.
I would rather believe in Jesus and this thing, not with physical evidence. No, I rather want to believe in the morality and ethical.
You know what's
aspects.
interesting? What's interesting in that? This shroud doesn't actually show much. It just shows a face of a human being, right?
Yeah.
But we don't know if Jesus Christ was really powerful, if he had special abilities, miracles and that. It doesn't prove that, but still, it's a very important symbol. That's what I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
So that's you, educated, as usual.
So.
What do we have next, sorry?
We have the discussion.
Well, the main topic of this week.
Yes.
Which is?
The future.
Right, so last week we had the arts.
Yeah.
And I told you a quote by George Bernard Shaw, remember?
Okay. Yeah, I remember.
Now I have a very special quote coming from Pope John Paul II.
A lot of religion in the show.
Yeah, I guess. Now, we're gonna talk about monkeys in a bit. So.
Okay.
We still have the certificate.
Well, of course.
So the quote is, "The future starts today, not tomorrow." Again, Pope John Paul II said that. Sorry, in your ignorance, what do you think about the future? This quote and the future in general.
Well, this quote reminds me of Cloud Atlas.
Yeah.
The film. And there was a quote there saying something like, "Past and present rebound to each other. With every kind gesture, every crime, we shape the future." Okay?
Yeah.
This is pretty much the same thing here.
Yeah, it's very interesting because some people say that if you were to go back in time, right, and stop a butterfly from waving its wings, and you would come back, it would you would actually see a volcano erupting because of that. And so every little change has
that is true. Every action has a reaction. Yeah, and I strongly believe that every small step you take has a reaction over time.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
but anyway, do you think it is worth predicting the future? Do you think we should bother with that, or we should live in the present? Is the present the one that counts, or the future?
I think the present really counts. You know that I don't plan anything. I just live now. I live in the present. I live as I want, and I'm thinking
Well.
that when I'm going to draw the line at the end of my life, I'm going to be content with what I
you
did.
said that you don't plan anything and you live the life. People listening to this will probably think that you're some kind of a hippie or you're a man that is very popular in that. You're obviously not.
No.
Well, do you think another problem is there? Do you think that the present shapes the future?
Pretty much.
What do you think that? What are the things that shape the future?
Our actions mainly shape the future, of course. You know, and I was thinking about future, and I was wondering. We have these theories about the end of the world or something, or the evolution. What do you think about this sort of thing? The evolution, the end of the time. What do you think is going to happen?
Well,
Because I have an opinion.
Well, many people say that we're going to be controlled by machines.
Yeah.
But my opinion is that this is not going to happen because we had a clear progress, right, in the past years,
Yeah, we have.
in the past century, really.
Especially in technology.
In technology, yes. But now, I think we're going to go downhill.
Why? Why is that?
Because our society is neglecting the values. And I think the values are the most important part in a society. I think that technology is helping us with lots of things. It's making our lives easier, but it doesn't really represent who we are.
So you're talking about something abstract here, okay? Well, did we really change in our perspectives and everything in this abstract thinking
Very interesting there because
from thousands of years ago?
well, the invention of internet, right?
Yeah.
It is meant to open your eyes. Right? But again, you're sitting in front of a computer. You're not really seeing the world. You're
Okay.
seeing the world through
So-
a monitor.
It's an illusion.
But a very strong illusion.
Okay.
And yeah, say, what's your opinion?
I was thinking about this, and from the last century, from a lot of years, we've been wondering about this evolution
Yeah.
and these machines. And if we go back and look in the 60s, when the 2001 Space Odyssey,
Space of
Kubrick's
Kubrick.
film appears, we saw there that the machines are going to become conscious, and we can fight them because they're a lot smarter than we are. And I was thinking, how can we still be on the top? Well, my answer here is the emotions, the soul.
You're pulling that off again, just like
Yes,
with the art.
this is the best state we have, and we should keep this.
Actually, that's true, and I agree with that. And overall, I think that we should be ourselves,
Okay.
not some machines, because I think we're going to turn into that if you keep going like this. Anyway, so is this the future pretty covered?
Yeah, we should believe in equilibrium and
Yeah.
see where go.
One last question. Do you think the future is going to be bright? Yes or no?
No,
Why?
because of this technology evolution. If it's going to keep like that, we're going to live a bigger illusion. We're going to destroy what the human being actually means.
Yeah. Right. That's a proper argument there.
We need an equilibrium here. And now we're going to move to the next feature, which is the answer
Yeah.
of the question.
The answer. So, can you say that?
Oh, okay. You're in your bed at night,
Right.
alone. You wake up and a midget, an Irish midget, standing in one leg
Yeah.
with a big green hat, is tickling your toes.
Right.
What would you do?
Right. So
In
I
this
have
scenario.
questions as usual. First of all, how do you know it's Irish?
It's Irish.
How do you know?
Because I know.
How would I know?
Doesn't matter.
So it doesn't matter that it's Irish. What is
Okay, but he's Irish. No, he's Irish. Okay.
That's racism.
No! Why? No, please, move on.
Anyway, why is he standing in one leg?
Because he can stand in one leg, and he wants to do that.
Why does he have a big hat?
Big. That's kind of cliche there. It's green. It's a green hat.
big green.
So it should take you to Ireland.
You know,
should think to
Ireland. Ireland is not a fantasy place. No, Ireland is not Narnia.
I think they're next one to
Oh,
each other.
yeah. Right.
Sorry.
Anyway, my question would be, how would that reach on my apartment? I mean,
You just take the elevator or the stairs. You can walk, you know. You just went to your room. He's tickling your toes. What do you do? You can just sit there.
how small is he? Is
A
it?
normal midget, you know, like
normal midget?
like that guy from the Game of Thrones, if you know him,
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I think I would just kick him. I would just kick him. Right? I would get out of the bed, right? And possibly, I don't know, capture it.
Because
I'd probably sell him on eBay.
no, please.
No, really?
So you just Irish midget, just tickling toes, $20.
$20, yeah. Special offer there.
Okay, and now
Now we have the Rosalita fella. But
you asked me.
before that, I've asked you to leave me a minute, right?
Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I want to find out.
I made something special for the Rosalita fella, right?
Okay.
Or everybody knows the jingle.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe we can redo that a bit, right? So
Yeah.
just 11 seconds. Just listen to that, right?
The biggest true here. I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry. I can't do this. What was that for the name?
Well, actually, we had Coldplay, Christina Aguilera, Nelly Furtado. Just
all mixed up.
they probably listened to this show and then they thought,
And they're going to sue us. Like, of course. And now we have the actual. There was a little fella. Boom. So there was a little fella.
when?
Back in the old times.
When exactly?
Let me
No,
go.
when? Tell me when.
Let me go further, and you will understand when. Oh, okay.
Okay.
His name.
Cool.
His name was Tom, and he was living in a world of slavery. Okay, imagine a world of brutal slavery.
So wait, is this imagination?
Actually, not, because slavery was a real thing. Okay, and Tom was the first man to be enslaved.
Yeah. So wait, was he black?
Yeah, he was, and actually, he was the first slave who became a free person as well. So imagine him in that brutal world of slavery, okay? And we should think that this goes back to the root of slavery, because, as I said, he was the first man to be slave.
Men, emphasis on men.
Yeah, and actually, I think that slavery goes back to the root of humanity as well. So,
Why?
why what?
What are you talking about?
I just told you, okay? Let me continue.
This is rubbish.
So, to conclude here,
Where is the monkey?
Tom was the first man
Men.
to be slave.
Men.
Was the first man who
First man.
became a free
Yeah,
person,
first man.
first slave. And he was black. Sorry,
He again.
but he was a monkey.
So, you know that's very racist, don't you?
Why? No. it's plausible
Black
because
people being
this goes back
monkeys.
to the root of humanity, where humans weren't evolved. They look
What
like
root of humanity?
I don't know, millions
What
of
are you
years
talking
ago.
about?
When we looked like monkeys.
Millions of years.
So that is very
the world
plausible.
Was dominated
That is
by
very
dinosaurs.
plausible.
You don't know what you're talking about.
No, this is plausible.
rubbish.
This is true. That was Tom, and I think that's all.
Do you think really that's all?
Yes, I think that's all. More of this next week on After Drivel Show.
Goodbye.
Thank you.